Hey guys, Billy Davidson, Davidson Pressure Washer Painting here in Hammond, Louisiana. December 17th, 2019. We are only 8 days before Christmas. I hope you all are enjoying your holiday season as we are. Matter of fact, Santa has already come dropped off a few gifts under the tree. He was a little early this year, but I think he's got a lot more to come bring by if I'm correct on that. Got a little bit more to drop off. So. And matter of fact, I don't think Santa's finished all his shopping yet. We still got to go out this weekend if we get some time off and go hit some of the shopping malls and pick up some of the last minute gifts. So I wanted to talk to you today about one of my customers that I have gotten recently that really brought me back to some of the basics when talking to a customer and when selling your services and everything. So I'm gonna entitle this video, Don't Judge a Book by Its Cover. So you may see that in the title. And also this is Pressure Wash Talk number 4. This will be our 4th episode, December 17th, 2019. This customer, you may be the type of customer that you have right next door, or the type of customer that calls you next week, or something like that. So I want to share this information. I had a call come in off of one of my Facebook posts, and it was just a little simple Facebook post. The post was I went back and actually looked at the post. It was in early November, and just a before and after picture of some concrete, something really simple with my phone number under it, and this kind of goes back to you never know who you're going to reach and who you're going to touch with one of those, just like a simple before and after Facebook post. And I don't do it as often as I should because I'm really, really busy every day. Sometimes I work day and night, sometimes 2 shifts a day. And when I'm not working, I'm constantly taking phone calls. I generally get anywhere between 100 phone calls a month. So if you do the math, Sunday really kind of slow around here. But the other 6 days a week, the phone is constantly rocking and rolling. So, I really don't do a lot of Facebook posts as much as I should because we stay so busy. But I think I'm going to start doing more of it. And this is why. What happened, I had a gentleman, it was an older gentleman here. I didn't ask his age, but maybe he was like in his late 70s, maybe mid to late 70s. A little rough around the edges. He called me and he wanted to know about power washing. Didn't know a lot about the industry. Said he wanted his driveway cleaned. So, as I spoke to him, I could tell he had I could tell he was elderly. He probably wasn't super educated from what I thought on the phone. And to be honest with you, I was like, I don't know what this is going to come of, but we went and go take a look at it anyways. So we went out there. And sure enough, I followed the address and I pulled up to his house and I was shocked. It was a quite large home. And I was like, well, as soon as I pulled up, I could see he needed more than the driveway done. The roof was terrible. The walls of the house was really bad. He had several buildings in the back that had some tractors and farm equipment in it and some other large slabs in the back as well. And of course, he had a very long driveway. It was about 300 or 400 feet long. And a couple little ponds out with a little dock. It was a beautiful place. Probably multi-million-dollar estates there is what it ended up being. And talking to him on the phone briefly for that 5 minutes, I kind of thought it might have, I didn't ask him the size of the house. I didn't know what I was getting into. A lot of times, we don't get all the information when we're on the phone, just kind of figure out where they at and what they kind of looking for and a good time to meet them, because that in itself is hard enough to just get an appointment with them and ensure that they're going to be there at the time I arrive. So, that being said, I got out the vehicle, gave them a business card. I always do that first, reintroduced myself again, and we got to talking, and, as luck would have it, we were showing them some before and after pictures on the phone, and, he could see, before and after pictures on our phone, and we had a brochure that we handed him where he could kind of look at a little bit of that. So inevitably, he wanted a quote on every piece of property that he had there. His sidewalls on his house, the barn, the roof of his house, which is just the roof itself was $1,500. just everything. So the whole ticket sale off of him at that residence was $4,400, and then I reduced it down, a multi-service discount by $500. So we was kind of in and out of there in about 10 hours of work. We actually had to split it up. So, we kind of averaged real close to about $400 an hour on that job. And the first day we put in about 5 or 6 hours. Then the second day, because someone else previously scheduled, and he was kind of wanting to get it done right away. Once he seen what was possible out there, he said that nothing had been washed ever. I don't know, 10, 15 years have gone by since he had built the property, and different other buildings on the property were about that old as well. So we spent 5 or 6 hours there that morning, had another lady scheduled that afternoon, and then a commercial property that afternoon as well, later that afternoon. So we came back the next morning, which gave me 2 opportunities to touch him. He was there the second day. By this time we have, he's done kind of followed us around his property, talking, and really got to know him and stuff, and kind of first name basis at that point. And he was highly interested in, the type of soaps we use, the SH. He was very interested in the solutions, and I was just kind of explaining it to him, and just made him feel real comfortable. And not intentionally, we just treat every customer like that. And as luck would have it, he had some other buildings that he owned out in a nearby town. So we, wanted to bid that as well. He's like, hey, go see what it take to clean it up. We went and looked at two more of his buildings, and ultimately did the buildings and the drive lanes around the building and the parking lot. And now we scheduled to go back to do the parking lot striping this weekend. So all in total, his house was $4,400. We did knocked off $500 for a multiple service discount, so that was $3,900. He ended up giving us a $200 tip. So whether you want to count that or not, he wrote me out a check for $4,100 at that point. His one property was a building that they were renting out for AC, like an AC place was renting it out, an air conditioner contractor. So they had a lot of equipment stored in and around it. So we had to move some of that, but he got the building washed and the parking lot restriped as well. That was for $1,800. The building was. Now we got to go back and wash it. So we had $4,100 plus $1,800 for the wash the building. And the parking lot striping was only $450. Many lines out there. So we had $2,200 just on this building plus the $4,100. We had $6,300 there, and then the other 2 buildings were actually $1,500 each. So we kind of up around $9,300 total off of this one picture, this one phone call, and posting it on Facebook. He was not on Google. He had told me his granddaughter, get this, had set Facebook up at some point in the past, so they can kind of communicate with the grandfather. And he would look at the the pictures of the kids and stuff and all that. So don't judge a book by its cover. If I would have just blown him off and not went and looked at his job, that would have been a $9,300 ticket down the drain. And that's if I got the numbers added up, but maybe I missed something. Let's say between $9,000 and $10,000 ultimately. Of course, that's not all profit, but being in the middle of the winter in December, everyone is very helpful. Like with the ticket sales that size, it's very helpful during the winter. So, and not only that, he wants to do this a couple of times a year. And I was very honest with him. I said, I'm not sure if it's going to require it twice a year, especially not the roofs, but the sidewalk and stuff. He wants to keep it looking good. So we're going to have a portion of that as a return customer at least once a year. I'm not going to try to go in there twice a year and just milk him for it unless he really, really insists on it. But, so don't judge your books by a cover. If you get one of these calls and you're not sure, maybe they don't talk properly, they don't have the proper English behind it, or the proper accent, or you think they're too old, just always hold your judgment, go out there and take a look at it, and give every customer the professional criticism that you would expect, whether they're a multi-million-dollar customer or just an elderly lady that's got a 2 or 3 bedroom house with a few cats, because we run across those often as well. So you never know what you're going to run into. Post those pictures on Facebook. It's very helpful. Try to get your friends to share it, your family to share it. Try to get some engagement. Try to get people to like it. You know, try to do some really profound before and after pictures. And then also on Facebook, it really helps to add some content. You know, for instance, if you you know, like let's say you have a winter storm coming in your area, or you know, next springtime you have some of these big springtime storms come through, and a lot of times we know this several days in advance, you know, with our weather forecasting. And you can run a couple little Facebook posts about that if you want to boost them. Say, you know, we got a storm coming in this weekend. You know, if you want to make sure your roof is doesn't have any debris on it, or after the storm, those are very successful too. You know, if you notice you have a big storm come through and there's a lot of limbs and stuff down, it's real easy money to get up there and blow these roofs off and clean the gutters out. Even if you're not doing any pressure washing, at least you have touched that customer, you have worked for them, you can get a review from them. And on top of that, they have your business card, the neighbors see you, you're in the neighborhood making a bunch of noise. You know, you got your yard signs out, and even if you're doing your 5 around on each of those customers. So always remember, not every customer may look rich. They might not look like they might got a lot of money, but sometimes, you know, you run into these folks out here that own a lot of property and they're willing to pay. So hope this helps. One other thing I want to mention before we go, we will be doing one other pressure wash talk that was probably be between 30 and 40 minutes long. I'm gonna get my notes together for that. I will be recording that before Christmas and probably getting it uploaded at some point on Christmas Eve. So that would be my next day off. I really want to take the Christmas Eve off. I'd like to have those 3 or 4 days off in that time, but I don't know if our schedules will allow it. But I got this video in mind. This will be about 30, 40 minutes long. So it'll be extensive. You might, you know, once you see it get uploaded, you might want to go and grab a cup of coffee, because once I get to talking, you know, especially looking at my notes, I can go on and on. So that's coming. I'm kind of going through my notes on that one, and you know, making those. It's not like I got a teleprompter here, so a lot of times I'm looking down at my notes and trying to figure out what we're going to talk about next, and not forget anything too. So if y'all are looking forward to some of these, and if they helpful, if y'all can hit the like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, whatever you want to do. If you want to hit a comment in the box below, YouTube likes that as well. But if you want to text me personally, my number is 985-345-0778. I am Billy Davison, and I'm the owner of Davison Pressure Wash Painting. I look forward to talking to you soon.